Have you ever thought of growing pineapples in your town? Well, if not, then why don't you think about growing them in your living room? Yes, that's right. You can grow this fruit at home with very little space, less water, no pesticides, and no tilling of soil. Today I want to talk about why we are doing vertical farming. Why is it better than conventional farming? What are some examples of successful vertical farms? And finally, how can you get started today with an investment as small as $25? So make sure to watch this video till the end, because in the end, I am going to show you how you can start your own vertical farm today for less than $25. First off, let's take a look at why vertical farming is so much better than conventional farming. Vertical farming is a method of growing crops in vertically stacked layers. This allows farmers to grow more food in less space. It also uses less water and energy. In addition, it reduces waste and increases food quality. Vertical farming has gained popularity in recent years due to its many advantages over traditional agriculture. The main benefit of vertical farming is that it allows farmers to grow crops in a controlled environment. This means that they can control the amount of light, temperature, and humidity that the plants are exposed to. By controlling these factors, farmers can optimize the growing conditions for each crop, which leads to higher yields and better quality produce. Another advantage of vertical farming is its water efficiency. Traditional agriculture requires large amounts of water to irrigate fields. However, vertical farms use up to 95% less water than traditional farms because the plants are grown in a nutrient-rich water solution rather than soil. In addition, the water used in vertical farms is recycled and reused, further reducing water consumption. Vertical farming also reduces waste. Crops grown in vertical farms are not subject to the same pests and diseases that affect traditional agriculture. This means that there is no need for pesticides or herbicides, which can be harmful to the environment and human health. In addition, vertical farms have minimal food waste, because the produce is harvested just before it is sold. Another significant advantage of vertical farming is that it increases food quality. Controlled environment of vertical farms allows farmers to grow crops that are free from contaminants such as heavy metals, pesticides, and microplastics. In addition, the produce from vertical farms is often fresher and more nutritious than conventionally grown produce because it is harvested at peak ripeness. Finally, vertical farming is a sustainable way of producing food. Unlike traditional agriculture, which depletes soil nutrients and degrades the environment, vertical farming does not require soil and uses renewable energy sources. In addition, vertical farms are located in urban areas, which reduces the carbon footprint of food transportation. Now let's see some examples of successful vertical farms. One example of a successful vertical farm is Era Farms in New Jersey. This farm grows leafy greens and herbs in a 160,000 square foot facility. The farm uses a hydroponic system and LED lighting to grow crops year-round. Era Farms has been able to produce high-quality crops while using up to 95% less water than traditional agriculture. The company has also partnered with major retailers such as Walmart and Whole Foods to distribute its produce. Another successful vertical farm is Fifth Season in New York City. This farm grows leafy greens, herbs, and other crops in a 35,000 square foot facility in the Bronx. The farm uses a vertical farming system that allows it to grow crops in stacked layers. Fifth Season has been able to produce a variety of crops, while using up to 80% less water than traditional agriculture. The company has also partnered with local restaurants and grocery stores to sell its produce. Let's now discuss the long-term benefits of vertical farming. First off, you can start small and scale up as you gain experience and resources. With vertical farming, you don't have to invest a fortune to get started. You can begin with a small setup like a DIY stackable planter box that only costs $25. As you become more proficient in vertical farming techniques and increase your yield and profits, you can reinvest your earnings into expanding your operation. This approach allows you to test the waters and gradually increase your production capacity without taking on substantial financial risk. Another long-term benefit is that you can diversify your crops and maximize your space utilization. Like traditional agriculture, vertical farming enables you to grow a wide variety of crops in a small area. This diversity helps you spread risk across different crops and provides you with multiple income streams. For instance, you can grow leafy greens, herbs, and fruits in the same facility. Additionally, you can use space-saving techniques like intercropping to further maximize your yield per square foot. Diversification and efficient space utilization are key to building a resilient and profitable vertical farming business. Moving on to labor efficiency, vertical farming often requires less manual labor compared to conventional agriculture. You can automate many aspects of the process, including planting, watering, and harvesting. This is especially beneficial for those who want to start a farm, but may not have access to a large workforce, or prefer to minimize labor costs. Automation not only reduces the need for manual labor, but also improves efficiency and consistency in your farming operations. As your vertical farm grows, you can continue to invest in automation to streamline your processes and reduce labor-related expenses. As I've mentioned earlier, another huge advantage is water conservation. Vertical farming uses up to 95% less water than traditional farming methods. This makes it an attractive option for areas facing water scarcity, or for those looking to minimize their water usage for environmental reasons. By using water-efficient irrigation systems like drip irrigation and hydroponics, you can further reduce water consumption. Water conservation is not only an ethical choice, but it also helps you save on utility bills and operate your farm sustainably. One of the biggest problems that farmers face is pest infestation and weeds. However, vertical farming greatly reduces the occurrence of these problems. Because of the controlled environment, there is no soil involved in vertical farming. The crops are grown in a nutrient-rich water solution, making it difficult for pests and weeds to grow. Additionally, vertical farms are usually located indoors or in greenhouses, which helps to protect crops from pests and diseases that may occur outdoors. This means that farmers can reduce or eliminate the use of pesticides and herbicides, which can be expensive and harmful to the environment. By reducing the use of these chemicals, vertical farmers can save on input costs and produce healthier crops. Another long-term benefit of vertical farming is increased food quality. The controlled environment of vertical farms allows farmers to optimize growing conditions for each crop, resulting in higher quality produce. Crops grown in vertical farms tend to be larger, more nutrient-dense, and have longer shelf lives. Additionally, since vertical farms are typically located close to urban areas, produce can be delivered to consumers faster, reducing spoilage during transportation. This focus on quality has allowed vertical farmers to command premium prices for their produce and build a loyal customer base. Finally, another important benefit is that vertical farming is a sustainable practice that minimizes waste and pollution. Unlike conventional farming, vertical farms do not require large amounts of land or water, which helps to preserve natural habitats and reduce water usage. You can start with a simple, stackable planter box, which you can find online for around $25. These boxes are made of durable plastic and come in various sizes, allowing you to customize your vertical garden to suit your needs. The stackable design enables you to create multiple planting levels, maximizing your growing area and allowing you to grow a wide variety of crops in a small space. Once you have your planter box, you will need to gather some basic supplies. This includes soil, seeds or seedlings, water, and a watering can or hose. You can purchase soil and seeds from local nurseries or online. If you live in an area with a warm climate, you can also grow crops year-round with little to no heating costs. When setting up your vertical garden, it is important to consider the location. Choose a spot that receives bright indirect light, such as near a window or under a shade tree. Ensure that the area has adequate drainage to prevent water from pooling at the bottom of the planter box. Now it's time to fill your planter box with soil and add your crops. Start by adding a layer of soil to the bottom of the box and gently press it into place. Then add your seeds or seedlings according to the instructions on the packaging. Water your crops regularly to keep the soil moist, but not soggy. You can use a watering can or hose to water your plants. Be patient and consistent with your watering schedule to ensure that your crops thrive. As your crops grow, you may need to provide support. Use stakes or trellises to support vining crops such as tomatoes or cucumbers. This will help your plants grow strong and healthy and prevent them from becoming top-heavy and falling over. Finally, harvest your crops regularly to encourage continued growth and production. Pick ripe fruits and vegetables as they mature to enjoy fresh, delicious produce from your vertical garden. Starting a vertical farm is an excellent way to grow fresh, healthy crops in a small space. With the right planning and care, you can create a thriving vertical garden that provides you with plenty of food. Whether you live in a small apartment or a rural farmhouse, Vertical farming can be a rewarding and enjoyable experience. So why not give it a try and see how much you can grow? Thank you for watching, and until next time, happy vertical farming.